going on, everybody? Welcome to Sunday Night Football with Bengal Jim and Friends, Tuesday night edition. Guys, it is December 1st, James and Jamie. What the hell? It's December.
I know. I was listening to the Run DMC Christmas song on repeat today. You'd be proud of me, Jimmy.
The best line in any Christmas song ever. Mama's cooking chicken and collard greens. Run DMC. I'm just telling you. Just if you haven't heard that song, just
I had Cannon scared.
The video here, we might get shut down for copyright, so I'll look into it after the show.
Well, hey guys, a lot of good stuff here tonight. Again, just start off. Let's welcome our friends from Houday Nation again. Again, if you're not following these guys on Facebook, follow them. A lot of crazy diehard Bengal fans there. A lot of mixed opinions across the board. So it's a lot of fun following that page. So make sure you're following that page. Also, man, guys, you guys heard about Joe, man. Joe's heading to Los Angeles for his surgery, man.
Yeah, I'm conflicted. Do we know if it's this week or next week? Originally, I saw next week, and then I saw a report it was this week. I haven't really followed up on it, but
it made it sound like it was soon, and then even 2 weeks sooner than they thought, like thinking long term, which would be good too. So, I think I'm certainly no doctor, but I think obviously they had to wait for the swelling and all that. And if he's ahead of schedule already with the surgery, I think that's good looking at 2021 for sure.
Yep. I see. Hope he, hope everything goes well with the surgery because the rehabs he's going to kick it. It's interesting. I heard I think it might have been Lapp and Dan Horde talking about it. How he might be one of those guys that you don't have to light a fire, but to do the rehab, he's one of those guys you might have to pull back a little bit because he's going to go at it so hard.
You hear those reports, and then I think there was also reports out there that he's still in the quarterback meetings on the Zooms or whatever. I think the NFL had facilities shut down the last 2 days. So, he's still involved. Good. That's what we need. That's why we love him so much, and praying for a speedy recovery for him.
Yeah. Well, let's say a couple things. We had another great tailgate. Again, socially distant, mask, very limited crowds, but still a great tailgate. And our buddy Del Hall from 16 Lot has a new beer that he busted out on us this past Sunday. And I don't know if anybody's ever had like these double IPAs, but let me tell you, look at that can. It's orange and black, the beast, the tiger head on it. I think it's like 9.5% alcohol. I might have had a lot of those, but yeah, somebody drank 3 Bud Lights. That was one of those beasts that I had. But
Brandon.
Exactly. Brandon from Portsmouth. He can't handle that shit. But that's a really good beer. It's new. It's out in a lot of different places. If you get a chance, try that thing. It's pretty good. If you like IPAs, you will absolutely love 16 Lots, the beast.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
The official sponsor of Bengal Gym before the War tailgate experience.
I'm normally a Miller Lite guy. That was good, and then just from the can itself, it's pretty cool looking. And going back to the tailgate on Sunday, we even had out of towners, Giants fans, buying Fat Randy T-shirts. Again, those proceeds go to the Anthony Munoz Foundation. Fat Randy T-shirts are so popular, even Giants fans were buying them. So, As you said, Jimmy, that was. It was fun. The weather was way better than I think any of us anticipated. And so we had the World Championship Cincinnati Finals of flip cups going on. And it was fun. It was
a good time.
Yep.
So guys, just to let you know, man, I'm doing some E.H. Taylor tonight. So still not recovered from the Joe Burrow injury. And got to watch another Bengals loss. But at the end of the day, I'm here. I'm recovering. And we'll talk about a guest next week that's going to help all of us get through this. And we'll talk about Mike Bass here in a minute. What do you got there? Some tea, James?
Green tea. I already had my festive eggnog for the night. So now I'm just green tea and probably have to run to the bathroom 3 times during this hour show.
All right, guys. So over my left shoulder, you see a Tyler Boyd jersey. It's an autograph, authentic, stitched Tyler Boyd jersey. It's beautiful. It's a nice looking jersey. We've had this for a few weeks now. I've been looking for the opportunity after we worked with the Anthony Munoz Foundation and worked with Kenny Anderson Alliance and the Green Beret Foundation as well. We are focusing the next 7 days on American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Guys, this is a serious topic, man. I didn't realize after talking to Tony the Tigers one is donating this jersey for this. Just a great Bengals fan. But, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. over 50,000 a year, and even more attempts, 1.4 suicide attempts a year. So, as we look for different causes to try to help and support, we are going to sell 16 spots in a raffle. So basically how this is going to work, and make sure I communicate this clearly so everybody can understand this. We're only selling 16 raffles for this, 1 through 16, $25 per spot. When you get your spot, if you want a spot, just let me know and actually put it in the chat area. Let me know if you want a spot or 2 or 3 or 4. We're only selling 16. We've already sold 3. I just posted like 10 minutes ago on Twitter. We've already sold 3. But basically what we'll do when those 16 names are booked and sold, I will make an announcement on all of our social media platforms of those 16 names, and we'll take those 16 names next Tuesday night, put them in a randomizer, and we'll spin the wheel and put everybody's name on there, and wherever it stops, that's who's going to win the jersey. That $400 will go directly to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and this is something that Anthony Brooks or Tony the Tiger has helped us with on this one. So,
and we know suicides are tough, especially during the holidays, obviously just coming off Thanksgiving, getting ready for Christmas. If I'm not mistaken, suicide rates increase this time of year. So thank you for Tony for donating that. As you said, a great cause and just another great charity that we love being involved with here at Bengal Gyms, and appreciate everyone, as they have all year, stepping up and donating to these wonderful causes. Just to recap: Kenny Anderson Alliance, the Anthony Munoz Foundation, Green Berets, who else am I forgetting? And now the Suicide Prevention. So we appreciate all the listeners for stepping up and donating to such great causes.
Yeah, we'll give everybody a total at the end of the year here, kind of what you guys have done throughout the year to these different charities across the region here and across the country. But these 16 spots, once you lock your spot in, I'll send you a message. We'll do it through PayPal, and then we'll show that was actually that $400 was given to the foundation here. So get your spots. If you want a spot, make sure you type it in the chat areas right now, and we'll get you guys a spot and lock that up. You can buy as many as you want. No more than 16. We're done at 16 at $25 a spot. One more thing before we go through our agenda here tonight. Next week, we have a very special guest. We don't have a player. We don't have a media person, somewhat of a media person. We have a gentleman named Mike Bass. He was 18 years at the Post and the Inquirer. He wrote a book on Marge Schott. He wrote a book on Bob Huggins. He covered Super Bowl 23. He verbally sparred, if you remember back in the day, with Sam Weish. And he's the world's first certified coach helping fans. So think life coach. Think 2016 Bengals playoff game. We just completely fall apart. I literally was in depression for a week or 2 or longer. It still hasn't left, but he's going to be able to help us fans. But it's a serious topic. But he's going to talk about this next week, and I really would love everybody to participate in that. It's going to be a really fun topic, and I know we'll post something about Mike in a chat area here in a minute when you get a chance, so you can read a little bit more about it. And we'll post more information on our social media platforms throughout the week for you as well on it. So, hey, great lineup tonight, guys. So interesting. Last week we had on Tim McGee, the number 1 draft pick in 1986. We got the other number 1 draft pick from 1986, Joe Kelly, the linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals in the mid-late 80s. Very excited to talk to Joe. We got a lot of good stuff to hit with Joe on. Make sure you get your questions ready in there. And we're going to hit a really good Bengal History 101 topic with Tom Justin. We're going to talk about the tight ends from different eras, from 60s, 70s, all the way to today, and hit on those Bengal tight ends and where they fall and where we rank them. Really cool stuff. You're going to be part of that. And we'll finish with a question of the week today as well. We got a good question as we hit December 1st. We got a good question for everybody that's following us tonight. So, guys, I'm ready to go. If you guys are, let's get Joe going.
Right.
So let's do a quick intro here. So the 1986 number 1 draft pick out of Washington. Again, we'll talk about, there was 2 number 1 draft picks that year. We'll see who was first, him or Tim. Played for the Bengals from 1986 to 1989. Went on to play with the Jets, the Raiders, the Rams, the Packers, and even the Eagles. Had a great career, over 542 tackles, 6 sacks, 6 interceptions. Let's welcome one of my Bengal OGs here, man, Joe Kelly.
What's up,
Joe, what's
fellas?
going on? What's going on,
Hey,
big
Joe.
dog? How you doing?
What's going on, fellas, man? Glad you're good. Thanks for having me, man. You know, I was
Man,
gonna
we're
sit down and talk some football, man.
yeah. I mean, I just want to let you know, Tim McGee was talking trash about you, man. So we'll get to
the only thing Tim can do is run away from me. So I know he's that's my guy, man. That's my guy.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. So in 1986, a lot of Bengal fans don't know, Joe, man. In 1986, when you were drafted out of Washington, you and Tim were both taken in the first round. Tell everybody who went first, you or Tim.
Me, absolutely. I was. You had to get me before Tim. You know, if they would have got Tim, I wouldn't have been there at 18. So they knew that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So Joe went number 11, I think, in 1986, and Tim went later in that first round at 21. And like Joe said, you know, after kind of looking at all this stuff, I do remember this back in the day, man. Joe would have been gone by 21st.
Yeah,
pick,
yeah.
man.
I was actually going to be gone. Saying that I was on the phone with Alex Spaniels when the Bengals picked me. I didn't get a call from Mike. I didn't get a call from Paul. I was on the phone with the Chargers. You know, they had the 5th pick and the 13th pick, and even I think maybe the 4th pick they called me and they told me they was going to pick Leslie O'Neal. You know, so me and Leslie we had knew each other, meeting each other, you know, through the combine and stuff, and they were sitting at 13, and they called me and they were like, you know, Cincinnati, they're in line to get a linebacker, but if they don't, we got you at 13. And as I was on the phone, we're looking at TV, and you know, they say, "Hey, Bengals select University of Washington inside linebacker Joe Kelly," and he just congratulated me. So I thought I'm born and raised in California. I thought I was going to stay and be able to play on some grass and nice sun, no snow, and Bengals picked me, man. But it it worked out. It worked itself out.
Joe, you went from the West Coast.
West
Came
Coast,
east,
baby.
came east though.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your Washington career. So we have a couple short clips, Joe, and I'm sorry, I should have kind of warned you. I think I've been texting you, but we're live right now. We stream the Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. There's hundreds of folks watching right now. So there's going to be a lot of good questions and interaction from the fans. We won't put you in a bad spot. We promise you.
I'm ready.
But let's do this, man. I got a game clip from 1985. And remember, Joe was drafted in 86. So this is a college clip. Let's play this clip. And after we're done playing this clip, let's talk about it.
All right.
No, I'm sorry, Jamie. It's clip
That's the
one.
Bengals.
Yeah, clip 1. I might have misnumbered. That might have been my fault, Joe.
Yeah, EJ. Give me 1 sec. I'll get that up for you.
I got it. I got some other clips, Joe.
All right. We'll find a couple, dust a couple of them off.
The little VHS tapes.
Yeah.
That's it?
Nope, that's the Bengals again.
That's the Bengals.
I'm fired.
You're fired.
Sorry.
That old VHS, man, it's not like the modern technology, man. You got to start rewinding stuff, man.
All right.
There it is.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, the Sooners, baby. The Sooners.
Fullback.
Orange Bowl, baby.
Last year's linebacker Joe Kelly, off the nation and takeaways with him. Coming out of Texas, Oklahoma State got him, and they love him. Look at those stats last year as a freshman. Daryl Holmes.
Thurman Thomas.
Yeah.
I got hurt that game.
You did early.
Yeah. Hey, believe it or not, Barry Sanders over there sitting on the sideline.
Good defense. Not only 1 yard, he went to the 32. It's going to be second down now, 9 yards to go. Joe Kelly came in to make the tackle from Los Angeles, Jefferson High School.
Jefferson High School, baby.
Lettered every year here. Joe Kelly will play on the inside linebacker position. 6'2". We talked a little about him at the top, Lindsay. He's not too big, but boy, does he react. He's all over the field. 5 interceptions last year, 1 for a score.
So Joe, yeah, you're right, man. I wasn't going to bring that up, man. I know you got hurt that game, but I just thought that was an interesting clip, man. That was in 1985. You guys were number 12th in the country, and you played number 16 Oklahoma State. And you made quite a few tackles early in the game, then you got hurt. But dude, you had a couple tackles on Thurman Thomas, man. And that's cool stuff.
Yeah, Thurman and I came out together, man. So it's cool. We got to talk, to each other, throughout our careers, man. And it was just interesting being able to play against guys at the college level, and then getting to the pro level and being fortunate enough to play with some guys that you met and see how careers went. A lot of guys I met in coming out of college, didn't think they were really really special. Played with them in bowl games, and they turned around and had Hall of Fame careers, and then you had a bunch of guys who you thought would be Hall of Famers that things didn't quite work out. But that's the NFL, man. It's being in the right place, right team to fit the type of play that the scheme that you play, and something that fits your style. With this, you only have so many Reggie Whites and Howie Longs and Jerry Rices. And the rest of us, man, if you're in the right scheme, doing the right thing, and they allow you to, to be you, man, you can really, really have a good career. So, but at the end of the day, hey, man, played, lasted 11 years, was part of the worst trade in Bengal history, traded me for Reggie Rembert. Mike, I told Mike a couple years ago, dude, you blew that one right there, man. So I'm able to laugh about it now. I wasn't smiling too much then when it happened, but it's part of football, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. So let's talk about the college. I mean, so some of the guys you played with and played against, the big names who made it in the NFL. Talk about a few of those guys.
Well, we playing in the Pac-10. We had linebacker wise. You had Jack Del Rio, Dwayne Bickett, those guys coming out of USC. We're able to at Washington. We had a lot of guys I played with. My guys. Ron Holmes was a first round pick. Reggie Rogers, first round pick. We had a lot of guys go into the NFL. I early in my career played against John Elway, Darren Nelson. A lot of people don't really know about Darren Nelson. Darren Nelson was a small running back, played for the Minnesota Vikings. Came out of Stanford, but Darren, he reminded me a lot of James Brooks. Really, really good player. There's so many guys. I want to forget a lot of names, but there were a lot of, we played against a lot of guys. And the Pac-10 at that time wasn't like the Pac-12 now. So hey, we were kicking ass then. So it wasn't, there were a little pass happy kind of soft league right now. But back then we could we could play with any conference.
Well, the last thing on that, you were still the 5th all-time career leading tackler in Washington football history, man. So you had a hell of a career there, bud.
I did. You know what? I did. I had my junior year. My junior year just had everything went together, and we had an awesome year. We definitely were national champs. I wish they had the playoff format. Of course, they gave it to BYU, who struggled to beat Michigan, a 6-6 Michigan team. In the Holiday Bowl, and the Robbie Boscow Hail Mary
remember that
game catches it. We go to play Oklahoma and Orange Bowl. Of course, they were rated and they were going to beat us. And we smacked them. They had the Boz and Tony Casillas and all those guys, and they were supposed to stump all over us, man. And we beat them pretty good, and we knew we were going to be national champs, but it didn't work out, man. And I still say we were, we would have beat BYU 30-40 nothing. We got robbed. We got robbed.
That's funny.
So growing up in California, and by the way, happy early birthday, Joe. You got a birthday coming up
next Friday.
Yes, sir. So happy
21, baby.
Just turning 23, baby.
Happy early birthday. Were you considering staying out west? Was Pac-10 with one of the schools you wanted to go with, or did you consider anything back east?
Well, you know what? It was ironic, man. I told the story, throughout my pro career. Coming out of Los Angeles, Jefferson High School, South Central Los Angeles, I wasn't the best linebacker on my high school team. And the best linebacker on my high school team, Walter Cole. Walter Cole, unfortunately, went to prison after we graduated. I went on to the University of Washington, and M.L. Johnson went to University of Hawaii. And M.L., he wound up getting drafted by the Seahawks. And, I got drafted by the Bengals. So it's kind of ironic that on our high school team, the best linebacker went to prison, and 4 years later, both the other two linebackers made the NFL. And Mike, I'm gonna say Mike played maybe 4, 5, 6 years, and I played 11 years. And it was funny that not being a high recruit, of course, USC, UCLA, and right in my backyard, we actually used to run and work out for my high school. And we run to USC, and that's when. Trying to remember, USC had a really good Chip Banks. They had a really good linebacker crew. Of course, who didn't want to go there? But they didn't even give me a sniffle. They didn't even give me a sniffle, which was ironic because I kicked their ass 3 out of 4 years, and I let them know it. I was in your backyard, dude. You didn't even give me a unofficial visit. They took a guy named Neil Hope out of Fairfax. Neil's a good guy. He was a good player. But like I said, USC, UCLA didn't recruit me. But at the time, University of Washington had won 4 out of the last 3 Rose Bowls anyway. So University of Washington was the best team anyway. So I actually committed to University of Oregon. And that night of the day before National Letter of Intent Day, it just didn't sit well with me. I couldn't sleep, and knowing if I would have went to Oregon, it would have bothered me. And it would always been in the back of my mind, you should have went to UW. And I said, okay, if you go to Washington, I'm not going to regret it. So that next morning, I took off the Oregon hat, man, and, put my Washington stuff on, and, Al Roberts, and, they came to the house, and, I signed, and unfortunately the University of Oregon coach, he came about an hour later, and they were leaving the house, and I just told him, sorry, Coach Lynn, I'm a Husky, man. Sorry.
Yeah, you wouldn't look good in that green anyhow, man.
No. It worked out for me. No, that would have been terrible.
That's good.
A couple recent Washington players, Drew Sample, obviously, and John Ross. Have you had any conversations with either one of those guys, Joe?
No, not Drew. With John, yes. So I had a couple guys I played with. Were working with the UW sports department. So I've been following John since he was in Snoop's league before he went to Long Beach Poly, and then Long Beach Poly all the way to University of Washington and here. So we kind of connected that way, and it's just unfortunate it's not working out for him. The one thing about that kid. The things that have transpired here, never seen the kid was never a guy that didn't catch the ball, dropped the ball, never was a guy afraid to go across the middle. So the thing about the NFL, everybody has talent. Everybody's fast. Everybody's big. Everybody's strong. And unfortunately, in my opinion, he's not in the right place right now. The John Ross that I know, not the Bengal John Ross, the John Ross, the kid that I watched in Pop Warner, the kid that I watched at Long Beach Poly, the kid that was at UW, that boy can play, and he can catch, and he's, this thing is not all about, your ability, because everybody at this level has the ability, and I don't know if the coaching staff is in his head, and he's trying too hard, and he's kind of, he's dropped some balls, and the effort looks like it's not there, but so I'm hoping that just for his sake that obviously I don't think there's a future here, but someone would give him an opportunity to showcase his skills, because if you go back to last year, the beginning of last year, those first 3 games he was in the top 3 receivers in the league,
right.
So it's unfortunate. So you hate when that thing kind of stuff happens, but being, an 11-year vet and being around the NFL, and, even me getting traded, I damn sure it wasn't linebackers on the Bengals that were better than me, so, when you get that and you learn the business aspect of this, and then having experience of playing for 6 teams and 6 different organizations, and being able to start it, all those teams, you get to see other talent and see how other organizations run, and I've although I would have loved to have been a lifetime Bengal, and it's kind of odd playing for 6 teams and being a journeyman kind of guy, but playing for the 6 teams and playing with the guys that I played with, I wouldn't trade that for the world, man.
Joe, you played for 11 seasons, Joe. I mean,
yes.
That's a hell of a career, man.
Yeah,
that's actually a good segue into a question we have from one of our viewers. So Anthony asks, Joe, 11 seasons with 6 different teams with different organizational structures. Which organization structure do you feel allowed the most growth?
It's not close. The Raiders. it's not Raiders. That was a whole nother planet. My best team obviously was our Super Bowl team. But when going to New York, then remember it wasn't any free agency. So I signed a 3-year deal prior to me getting traded. The Jets organization, it was Bruce Cosett, new coach. All the coaches were in new positions. So it's kind of like what Zach Taylor and those guys are going through. That's how we were with the Jets. And then going to the Raiders, my 8th year, you talking about talent. That was the most talented people I've ever been around in my life. But they just had a different set of rules. You've seen how guys were able to be in a culture like that, but be so professional and how hard they work. And guys came early, guys stayed late. So that organization right there, I always had my best year. Led the Raiders in tackles, and it was just overall, it was a great experience for me.
Who was coaching the Raiders at that time, Joe?
That was Art Shell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Big Art, the gentle giant. I don't think I'm talking right now. I'm talking louder than he ever talked. He was a big, just the giant, really nice guy. Never raised his voice. But he was stern. But he was just obviously he was a player, man. So just being able to play for him was just was a blessing.
Certainly a well-respected guy in the NFL community, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Jamie. I think you got another question.
Yeah. So Lindsay asks, any advice for the team nowadays? Obviously, this season's not going as well as anyone expected.
Any advice for the Bengals now? Keep fighting, man. Keep fighting. It's just, it's tough when you have new coaches. So you think about Zach. Zach's never been a head coach on any level. Then all of a sudden, here they're coaching the Cincinnati Bengals. So this is the real deal, man. This is as big as it gets. So I can't necessarily say personally he didn't think he was ready, but he wasn't ready. I don't think he hired the right coaches around him to help him in a lot of situations. But at the end of the day, you got to keep fighting. No matter how bad all of us feel, because I'm you. I can show you my man cave. This is a Bengal man cave. It's we look how bad this season has gone. You look back at it, we only got our ass kicked twice. We should have won every game except the 2. And one of them, the first Cleveland game, so you literally a drive here. Defense, you make one stop. Offense, Joe kept us in it. Joe kept us in it. I can talk to you for 4 hours about what I think about Joe Burrows. But you're talking about one drive here, one drive there, one play here. As bad as we played, this Bengal team could be 6-2. So it's there. I think we have the nucleus of players. I don't think, in my opinion, what they did with Carlos Dunlap and what they're doing with Geno Atkins, to me, is the epitome of why the season is going like it's going.
You talk about the nucleus of players, Joe. Looking specifically at the defensive side of the ball, obviously you being a linebacker, what do you think of our existing linebackers from Jermaine Pratt to Logan Wilson to the other guys that we have?
My man Akeem Davis too, man. That's my man.
Well, my personal opinion, really, I think I like 55. I think Logan Wilson, because Logan Wilson doesn't know pro football right now. Logan Wilson get the reps. I think Logan Wilson can be a good linebacker. 57.
I've heard you talk about Jermaine.
Okay.
You're not a big fan.
Yeah, well, I'm not. And it is what it is. It is what it is. But I don't. He's not an inside linebacker. He's not an inside linebacker today, tomorrow. He's not an inside linebacker. I'm looking at his reads. I'm looking at what he's doing. I didn't read like that in high school. When I'm saying reading, understanding the triangle, understanding the guard, the guards in the center, and all the movement, the tackles. He's not an inside linebacker. I don't think he played that in North Carolina State. So I think he's out of position. I think the other guy they got from Baltimore, he's a veteran. He's a veteran. He's a guy. I think that's the area where I think they definitely need to upgrade in. I think they defensive backs. I think with Trey Waynes, if he comes back healthy, I think defensive backs. I think they can be just as good as any defensive backfield in the NFL. But I think we definitely need help in linebackers.
Speaking of the linebackers, we know the NFL game is changing. Certainly it's a lot different than when you played, Joe, and we know the Bengals struggle. Is it just picking the wrong guys, not adapting to how the league's changing? What do you think, looking at it from a 30,000-foot view? Why have we struggled for so long at the linebacker position?
Linebacker players, even though the game has evolved, the game has changed, linebackers still you need your linebacker. You need your linebackers to come and smack somebody. You need your linebackers to be able to go sideline to sideline. You need them to fill the hole. That's not what you're getting. Our linebackers are making tackles 7, 8, 9 yards down the field. It's still you're still linebackers are still those are your leaders. When you got your safety coming up and he's your enforcer guy. It makes it tough. It's still this game is still played in the trenches. Now it's not, there's not the two gapping that we did, and linebackers don't have to, two gap a John Hanna, you don't have to bang your head and do that. There's a lot of running around. It's a lot of, filling the holes, filling the gaps. You need linebackers that can run. Obviously there's not a lot of fullbacks playing. So, when you're covering, you're usually covering, an H back, a tight end. Guys have to be fast. Guys have to be agile. And right now we don't have linebackers that play downhill. We don't have linebackers that are enforcers, because you can still, be able to run sideline to sideline and still fill the holes. And we just don't have that.
I like what you said about the leader of the team, and Jimmy's going to have a video next. And I think we truly do lack a leader, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You mentioned the Carlos being traded, Geno's, whatever's going on with Geno. We just really don't have that veteran presence back there. Yes. But enough of me asking questions. Jimmy, you got another video you want to?
No. The one more thing on the linebackers too is you go from 19 to 20. I think we were the least athletic linebacking core prior to coming into this year. I think they did address it. They're still not where they need to be, because you guys, you have a lot more speed and athleticism over there.
Yeah.
A lot of young guys making some mistakes, but I think they're taking the steps they need to take there. They're not there yet. I agree with you, Joe.
Yeah.
So Joe, we played a college clip. Let's play. I did a random game in '89. I could have picked a couple of them here, but this clip's from 1989, Week 8 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
Into the 20-yarder, first down from the 27. Back to the ground game. 32 is James Wilder. What a hit by Joe Kelly, number 58, the inside linebacker. Joe Kelly is the guy who they call their speed inside linebacker. One of those guys who can run from sideline to sideline and believe that he put a stop and take down Wilder that time. interesting scene in Wilder in the game. Joe Kelly puts a stop on him there, but Wilder's the guy that Jake Burton over the middle interceptor. That's Joe Kelly. Kelly up the sideline, all around. That thing goes reclaimed football.
I'm really excited.
Still got that football, Joe? No, you tossed it.
No, I don't have that one. Oh, Vinny Testaverde.
He couldn't get all of his arm into that throw. With the two wide receivers lined up to the left, Fulcher, number 33, the strong safety, was on the blitz, putting pressure on Testaverde, and he couldn't get enough.
He threw that right to me.
Yeah. So Joe, you sure you didn't play wide receiver in high school, man?
Not at all. Fullback. I was a fullback. Played in the wishbone.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Fullback in high school. Yeah.
So that clip, 1989, Week 8, you guys absolutely thumped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 56-23, 25-yard interception return against Vinny Testaverde. Any memory of that game at all?
You know, James Wilder was tough, man. He's underrated, man. James he ran hard, man. But you know, when you play big backs like that, you know, you don't want to be on the receiving end of this guy running you over, because you have to watch film Monday. So you know, we made it a point to make sure that we kept him under control. But it was just, that was one of the fun games. It was a fun game. Whenever you get into games like that, and you're making plays, flying around, people are having fun, you're jumping up. That's what this thing is about, man. Having fun, every Sunday, and with the Bengals, man, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's crazy. So that 1989 team was a damn good team, right? So, I mean, you played with some ageless wonders, Joe. You played with Reggie Williams.
My guy.
Yeah, Tim Crumry. Full Rock played with you. Wilcox, E.T.
Yeah.
You guys had some players on defense.
Oh, yeah, we had some guys. And I think the reason, we meshed, and we did things away from the field. And, it's fortunate to this day, we all about a month ago, we were all over Solomon Wilcox's house for his birthday, smoking some cigars and drinking some good whiskey, so our kids are they call themselves cousins. So we grew up, and speaking of veteran guys, Reggie Williams, man, that was my guy. That's my guy to this day. He took me under his wing literally the first day I got here. Took me home with his family, and took me to Kings Island, with his family, and he's been a part just learning the game, and then just kind of watching him evolve as a player, coach kind of guy, and then City Hall, and his career all the way till he went to Disney and developed that sports theme park, and he's actually on my board of my nonprofit organization. So, Reggie, that's my guy, and with Crummy, I can tell you 1,000 stories, man. Playing with Crummy was fun. You didn't know what you were going to get, but I tell you what, you better be ready, because Crummy was going 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So being able to play with a guy like that was fun, man.
All right, so I'm going to ask one more question here, and we're going to maybe go one more if you got time for one more from the chat area.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Joe, give us a unique story. I was at a luncheon at the Montgomery and Boathouse last month. A very small crowd. It was you and Montoya and Breach. There were some funny damn stories you guys were sharing.
Yeah.
Give us a story, a Sam White story, something funny, a locker room story, something you could share with our viewers out there.
I can repeat the story what I told you we talked about, and that was you can imagine our offensive linemen. So you imagine how big you got. Joe Walters, 6'6", 325. You got Blado's 6'5". He's about 315. Bruce Reimers, he's 6'4.5". All these guys are 300 plus. So you imagine, how jovial those guys are. And it just so happened after a game, we go down to the waterfront. Guys are having a good time, and the big fellas start pounding. They start pounding that whiskey, man. And they went, and Bruce Reimers, he was ready to leave, and Blaze wasn't ready to go. And next thing you know, everybody's ready to go. Blaze wasn't moving. So next thing you know, we turn around and you saw two big bulls, going at it, and I wasn't going to stop them, because you remember the waterfront was on water, so they were tossing people out, so we're outside, and next thing you know, these guys come out and his shirt is all torn up, and Blados is crying. Oh man, it was a fun night. It was an unforgettable night, man. It was one of the nights they still talk about that to this day, man.
Nobody got arrested?
No, big fellas, no, they didn't, man. It was hilarious.
That's good stuff. I'll tell you what, let's do one more question, Jamie James, from the viewers, and then we'll kind of close with Joe here.
Sure. What's your most memorable moment of your career?
Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt being introduced in Super Bowl 23. Everybody from a standpoint knew who our offense was. I had the most prolific offense, Boomer, Anthony Munoz, those guys. Outside of Cincinnati, you may have heard of, Reggie Williams, SWAT team, but you didn't know us as a whole. But really going into the playoffs, the defense really carried the team to the Super Bowl. So when we got to the Super Bowl, I want to say that it was that either the night before or the day of. Sam would love the emotion that the defense would bring on, when you're announcing, and offense guys, they'll just introduce those guys and they'll just run out. We had no fire. Nobody said nothing. So they knew if the defense, they knew, first of all, they knew what I was going to lose my mind, and then last was going to be the crazy guy Crumrod. So it was about infusing our base, the bingo base, man, with enthusiasm. And Sam came up to me. He's like, Joe, we're going to introduce the defense, man, and I want you to get this place rocking. And I already knew what that meant. So I was pretty hyper guy when it came to emotions, and man, just being introduced, your name being called, millions of people. It's a Super Bowl, so everybody's watching, your peers watching, but this is the Super Bowl, man. This is what you grew up. I don't care who you are, how big you get, it's the Super Bowl. So here, just the anticipation of hearing my name and running out Joe Robbie Stadium, and I don't know if you had that clip, but I kind of got a little excited. I got so excited that when I got to the sideline, I needed the oxygen tank. so literally before the game, I'm sitting on the sideline with the oxygen tank because I could not breathe. I was so excited, man. So I had to sit down and calm down, man. But it was no doubt, man. Playing in Super Bowl 23 was the highlight of my career.
So it's funny, Joe, I was going to play the clip of you being introduced, but evidently the mics were on national TV, and Joe was coming out dropping some F-bombs, or I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
I just remember I was, 17, 8. I just remember you had me up ready to go. I could have played that day. I enjoyed it, that enthusiasm, you running out of the tunnel, man. I remember that. I can see it in my head right now, brother. It was awesome.
It was exciting, man. Great memories.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well, Joe, man, we took you longer than we said we would, brother. We appreciate your time, man. And look, man, it means a lot, man. We've had a lot of your teammates, man. Reggie Williams, Fulcher, Wilcox. We had a lot of your teammates on, and one thing that's a theme from that 81 Super Bowl team and that 88 Super Bowl team, you guys were close, man. And
close.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times when the viewers start asking those questions about the current team, and it seems to be a theme across the board. Man, you got to get to know each other on and off the field. You got to know the guy next to you because you guys did.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I can really credit Sam for some of that. Because the year prior, Sam went in training camp, and he was like, because you break out, you go eat lunch, you hang with the guys you hang with. So he was like, here, I want the white players. White guy's gonna room with the black guy. He's gonna be offensive guy, gonna be a defensive guy. So me and CC, Chris Collinsworth, we were roommates for 4 years. But it just, and the thing you take a South Central Los Angeles city boy and rooming with this white country, tall, lanky, skinny guy who was the Florida 100-meter champ, and white dudes couldn't run like that. Then I'm rooming with this, and this dude he could fly, So, but it was just talking, man, and learning each other's background, and seeing really how different we were, but actually how much we all had, in common, and it wasn't like a forced thing. And I think that enabled us to, when we go out, here, we go out with defense. We'll spend time at Boomers. Boomers will have everybody at his house. So when you have that kind, you look at all the successful teams, all the successful organizations. Those teams mesh. They don't just mesh on the field; they mesh off the field. You hear the stories. You hear him talking about Aaron Rodgers and how he meshes with his receivers. And those are special relationships. And those are things I can trust you. I know you. I know when you get in that battle. I'm going to have your back. You're going to have my back. Any team, those Super Bowl champs, they have all that. And unfortunately, this team, it's a team that really doesn't have an identity right now on offense or defense. Obviously, it's a shame. Joe. I still think he can be special, but it's tough. He had a really serious injury, but that kid's a special kid. But it would take more than him to get this team together. And right now, they don't have that. You have to have an identity, and you have to, have a unit, and everybody's playing together. And you don't see that. I don't get that feeling when you watch this team. Guys are holding each other accountable, and I don't have to hold you accountable, vocally. We can look at each other. Reggie used to look at me. Whenever it was a call or we recognized something, there was a look, and we knew it. We studied it. You see these guys a lot of times. There's so many blown assignments. There's so many guys running down the field. He's wide open. So that's they don't have a field. There's not a togetherness. There's not a unity. And as a result, you see the broken plays, and you see despite our record, a play here and a play there, a drive here. It's crazy because we could be right up here with second in division. I don't think we will be undefeated, but we will be right in the playoff hunt. So, that kind of stuff goes a long way.
All right, last question, and I'm sorry, last question. We got to ask. We've been asking every guest. Yeah. If the word hate's pretty strong, but I'm going to use it. If you hated one team more than another, do you hate the Browns?
It's not close. It's not even close.
Go. Who?
It's not even close.
It's between the Browns and the Steelers.
That putrid yellow and black. That to this day, you won't see anything in my man cave that's black and yellow.
Hey, Nothing. Joe, we don't even buy bananas in my house.
Yeah. I love bananas though, but they gotta stay in the kitchen. It's a no-brainer. It is not close. I despise. It's my kids can't come in here, with Pittsburgh Steelers stuff, and I love them to death. No, it's not even close. Sorry,
and the funny thing was, back when you played, Joe, we dominated the 80s, man.
Yeah,
it wasn't a rivalry. We beat them every time.
Yeah. And I think that's why I even hate them. You know what? I said it. I hate everything associated with his Steelers.
Joe, I just want to let you know, if there's fans out there that didn't know who Joe Kelly was, they know him now, and they love Joe Kelly now. I'm just telling you.
All right, man. Thanks,
Joe, hey, man, it means a lot, man. We love, man, I know who you are. Followed your career, man, and it's been fun watching you. But there's a lot of young folks out there that just don't know. And this is what we're using this platform for, man, on all these different social media platforms to kind of educate some of the young folks and some of the old folks like me. We get to rehash some of the same memories with you, Joe. But we appreciate your time, big dog. And someday we're buying you bourbon and some cigars, and we're going to get together for a drink, buddy.
Bourbons and bros. Yeah.
You know, big dog.
All right.
See you, man. Who day?
Appreciate it. Stay safe. Have a good birthday, Joe.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
That was funny. This made me laugh. Hunt's ketchup only.
That's right. I should have used that one. So, hey, that was fun, man. Joe was, wasn't here along with 4 years, right? 86. Yeah, 4 years, man. He had some good years here. And I was hoping, so it was funny. I asked our guest last week, Tim, about what I could ask him. And he goes, asking about the trade, how mad he is about that trade. And I forgot it was Reggie Rimbert. Reggie was a Tom, you look way better without a suit on. I know you didn't wear. You had a couple weeks in a row with suits on, but you look way better today, brother.
We're good and comfortable. How you guys doing?
Life is good, man. Life is good. Well, hey, we got a great topic tonight, man. So Tom and I go back and forth. We're geeking out about history stuff all the damn time. So we try to figure out what did we talk about this past week that we want to hit on this week. So Tom, I got a video clip. Hey, Jamie, we're going to run that history clip. There's no volume, no sound to it. So we're just going to play it when we start talking here. So there is going to be a cutoff on it. I'm sorry. There's going to be some tight ends. We talk about the history of the tight ends in different eras. And Tom, I'll let you kick it off, man. And you see the guy right here, front and center, who kind of, to a degree, redefined the tight end position. It used to be, guys that were blockers that would occasionally catch a pass, but Paul Brown and Bill Walsh, to help with the deficiencies on that offensive line as the franchise started, wanted to spread out a defense. And Bob Trumpy, was a little bit more of a receiver than a blocker as a tight end, and really utilized that offense. And he was a favorite of Greg Cook. I think Trump went to either 3 or 4 Pro Bowls, but he'd have gone to a lot more had Greg Cook stayed healthy. As you see right there, Greg Cook loved throwing to Bob Trumpy. Yeah, it's funny. So you're right. He went to 2 AFL All-Star games and then 2 Pro Bowl games. Right. And it was great because we had Trumpy on about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Trumpy was awesome. And one of the things he said is that he credited Bill Walsh because Bill Walsh created mismatches. When you take a tight end and start kind of flanking him out, and then he'd get the mismatches out there on those safeties. But I didn't change some of this stuff right here. But Bob, Jamie, if you could stop the video, I'm sorry. Bob Trumpy was the real deal, man. I still say he's probably the best tight end the Bengals had in their history.
Best receiving tight end, without a doubt, because he could stretch the field, he could go underneath. He did very well in '68, very well again in '69. In fact, the Pro Football Hall of Fame has their own all-star team from every year, especially during the years of having the AFL and the NFL. And they named him the best tight end in all of football, of all the leagues, in 1969. Under Virgil Carter, wasn't quite the same, just because Virgil was a little bit more of a fly by the seat of your pants type of quarterback and scramble and everything else. But once Kenny got there, Kenny kind of found him again and got him the ball a lot more.
Yeah. So Trumpy played from 68 to 77. Mm-hmm. And then let's talk about the next era of Bengal tight end coming in. It was Dan Ross. I have these names messed up here. I didn't fix that. Sorry about that. But
he came in '79 from Northeastern. He was from Massachusetts. But when he really found his stride was his second year when Lindy Infante came in and loved to feature him. He was Ken Anderson's favorite target during that era. You see him right here in the Super Bowl, where at the time he held the record for years for most catches by a receiver in the Super Bowl. But he was Ken Anderson's favorite target. He was clutch, textbook, maybe not the greatest blocker as a tight end ever, but great hands, reliable, and knew how to get open.
Yeah, watch this catch real quick. I'm sorry, I had to put this clip in here. This catch, they'll show a replay of this. This guy was I don't know how many catches, was some stupid amount of catches that he set the Super Bowl record at the time. But look at this one-hand snag right here, man. Just, Dan Ross was the real deal, man. From 79 to 83, he was a two-time All-Pro, 19 touchdowns, almost 3,500 yards, almost 300 catches in Bengal history. So Dan Ross was, again, a very critical part of that Super Bowl team that year in 81.
Yeah, great tight end.
And then here's his Super Bowl touchdown right here as well. And this clip's almost over. We'll go on to the next tight end.
Yep.
Okay. Jamie, you can go ahead and fast forward a little bit. I'm sorry. I wasn't sure how long those. Let's talk about. Hopefully, I got these names right. Okay, from 1982 to 1992, Rodney Holman, which was maybe one of my all-time favorite tight ends.
Rodney came in. It took him a couple of years to get with the speed of the NFL. He played special teams for a while. In fact, in 84, he had a monstrous block punt to help us beat the Browns up in Cleveland. But once he became a starter, as you can see there, he had it all. He was a complete tight end. He wasn't just a receiver. He wasn't just a blocker. He did it all. He was a powerful mauling blocker. He had great hands, ran great routes. And, even though he didn't have the great speed, somehow he would find ways, there you go, to have stretch plays and go for long touchdowns. And I remember he had one very big one against the Colts one year in Indianapolis to beat the Colts. It was about 70 yards. But, and unfortunately for the team, you just had Joe Kelly on, one of the forgotten superstars of that team. I remember Mike Ditka getting interviewed one time about the tight end position at that time. And he said, somebody said, well, who do you look at today as a great tight end? And he said, Cincinnati's got Rodney Holman. He's the best tight end.
Stop the video. Stop the video and go back just a hair. And we'll get so Rodney Holman, I think to your point, Tom, was probably the best all-around complete tight end the Bengals have had in history.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and the longevity of his career also comes into play, because now we have 3 or 4 more other tight ends we're going to talk about that we're just going to say that these are honorable mentions. These are tight ends we want to talk about. And let's talk about the next. I don't have any videos of the honorable mention guys here, Tom, but let's talk about these next couple guys here. Go ahead, Jamie, and just stop at this next picture that you'll see. So from 93 to 2001, Tony McGee, unfortunately played on some very bad Bengals teams, Tom.
He played on some bad teams. Tony was athletic. Tony had some good catches. I think Tony's biggest problem was, for whatever, Jeff Blake loved the deep ball. Jeff Blake was not too big on throwing to the tight end ever. And, that was the majority of Tony's time here, was with Jeff Blake as the quarterback. But he was athletic. He can move down the field, pretty good blocker, and, had a very long career.
Yep. The next tight end on our list, honorable mention list here, gets us to, a guy that, basically, in my opinion, he had all the tools here too. Tom, he just couldn't put it together between the ears and a lot of mental mistakes. But Jermaine Gresham from 2010 to 2014. Again,
athletic, good hands. Again, it just never meshed. A lot of people forget, though, Jermaine did go to a Pro Bowl. He was a high-effort guy, and he did make some good clutch catches during those years. Jermaine had a horrible habit of, no matter where he caught the ball on the field, no matter where the first down sticks were, no matter where the goal line was, he had to stretch the ball out. And I don't know, Jimmy, you'll remember, I don't know how many times a defender would poke that ball away as he was trying to do that. But he was still a fine tight end, a good starting quality tight end.
Yep. And then the last one we have on our list is just another one that, again, had all the tools. A beloved Bengal tight end here in Cincinnati. People loved him, but man, Tyler Eifert from 2013 to 2019 just couldn't stay on the field consistently, Tom.
He got hurt, but you could see the difference in the Bengals offense when he was healthy. Andy loved to throw to him, and who could blame him? I mean, he was fast. He could blow a game open by himself. He just couldn't stay healthy. He had I think a touchdown last week for Jacksonville, actually. But great guy. That's another up there with the what could have beens had he been able to stay healthy.
Yep. Yep. So that's all I put on there as the honorable mentions. There's some funny ones in here. You remember Schobel and Marco Battaglia? I remember all those guys.
But yeah, those were good guys. But I mean, there were some. I think you had, Bruce Coslett was, ended up because Trumpy had some injury problems along the way. Started a lot of games, and was a good receiver and a good blocker. Great special teams player. M.L. Harris caught a lot of clutch passes when he was here.
M.L. Harris was a good one.
Kelly, during his years here, was a devastating blocker. Opposing defensive coordinators used to talk all the time about when you play the Bengals, Reggie Kelly, what a nightmare it was like giving full offensive tackle.
You know what? There was one more pitcher on there. Reggie Kelly was probably that guy that no big deal, but Reggie Kelly was a good one too, man. So yeah, Reggie Kelly was awesome. And if you remember, what was the ESPN thing? Remember when he got hurt in training camp and that whole, it was awful.
Achilles.
It was awful scene. So guys, that's kind of it with the History 101. We wanted to kind of recap from the beginning to current right now with Bengal tight ends and just kind of talk about some names maybe we haven't talked about in a long time. But I do want to give you a little bit of preview now until the end of the year. Tom and I have some really cool stuff that we're working on related to, December and Christmas on some Bengal history, some really cool stuff. So we'll start getting into that here next few weeks. And Tom and I got some good stuff to hit on with you guys.
Working night and day. I haven't slept.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Tom, why don't you stick around for our question of the week? I'd like to hear your answer to it.
Shoot.
All right,
let's go.
Yeah, first. Don't put me on spot. Make Tom go first.
Tom's got the So everyone in the chat, we're going to put up the question of the week. We want you guys, obviously, to share your answer. We'll put up on the screen. December 1st, Tom, question of the week. Christmas is coming up. What's your Bengals Christmas wish?
Lots of presents for Joe Burrow. Perfect health, a revamped, solid, Super Bowl quality offensive line, a tight end that can catch, separate, and get open, and a little more depth at wide receiver. I think the commitment the franchise put into defense last year will be flipped to offense, and hopefully he can get a lot of those presents.
Sound like my son, Tom. You want everything under the sun.
Hey, ask for it all.
All right, James.
New head coach. Just say that just to make Jimmy mad anyway.
I'm not mad.
Jimmy's just steam. Look at the steam just coming off his head right now.
I'm not drinking a lot tonight, damn it. Jeez.
All right, Jamie.
I'm with you. I want a new coach. Actually, in Houday Nation, they're asking about potential coaches. There's a really big thread there, so go check that out. The one thing I'm noticing, though, when people are talking about a new coach in Cincinnati, a lot of these guys are mentioning people who don't have head coaching experience. They're looking at guys that want to, maybe go from an offensive coordinator up to a coaching position. I don't think the Bengals make that mistake again. I hope they don't, getting a guy who doesn't have the head coach experience. I think what we need, this is what I want for Christmas for the Bengals, I want an experienced head coach. I want a respected head coach in the league to come into Cincinnati. And when he makes that first phone call for his choice of assistant coaches and coordinators, you get the first pick, not your fifth guy like Lou, who comes in and does a terrible job.
Yep. So mine's pretty. I got two guys. Just praying for Joe. A Christmas present, successful surgery and rehab. Man, that's key. Number one thing there. So. I'm sure there'll be a lot of media stuff on the upcoming surgery here with Joe. But my second thing would be, can the NFL and all the stations stop playing these damn Baker Mayfield commercials? That's what I want for Christmas. Tired of seeing all these Baker Mayfield commercials up in Cleveland.
Wait, one thing we forgot to mention tonight, you didn't tell the listeners, Roger Goodell called you and said they're not going to put the Steelers-Ravens game on tonight at 8:00 because that's Bengal Jim's time slot.
Hey, their ratings would have been down 25%.
Push them to Wednesday at 3:40, the Young and Restless matinee special on NBC, because Bengal Jim has the 8:00 time slot tonight. So,
one question, guys, about that. They are playing it in the afternoon because NBC would not move the lighting of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Could they light the tree during halftime? I mean, how hard is it?
Yeah,
Here we go. We want one more win, one more win at least.
Jason, that might cost us the third pick, Jason, just saying.
Pittsburgh on Monday night. Paul says to go back to the 80s and or 90s uniforms.
I like, you know what? They need to do that. Hold on. You're going through these too fast, Jamie. Hold on. You know, Mike Brown, it's a good way to make some money. Go back to these. You know, they have the white alternate jersey, and we see a lot of other teams go back to their older jerseys. I mean, way back in the day with Detroit and Washington and things like that. This is great. This would be great. Be a good money maker. Everybody buy them. Imagine a Joe Burrow 80s jersey. How cool would that be?
That'd be cool.
You know, something different. I mean, I don't know why we don't do that, but
it's going to happen. They got to do this 2 years in advance for it to happen. I do want to say I would love like the throwbacks from the 70s, a throwback from the 80s. I tell you, I would eat that up.
I mean, we see across the street the Reds doing it all the time in baseball. Come on, Bengals, let's do it.
All right, the chance to knock the Browns out of the playoffs. New head coach.
That's a alias for James. He put that in there.
Yeah.
You picked two first names. That's good. Good disguise. Our third round pick. They're saying this is the guy that goes.
Dude, this guy is a stud. And you guys seen the picture that we post on social media, right?
Cower?
Yep.
I think it was Bill Cower who wanted us to take him.
When he was in youth football, he played for a team called the Bengals. He had the Bengals striped helmet.
He did.
I'm telling you.
Hold
It's
on. Tyler says my Bengals Christmas wish is to have all players healthy for next year and Super Bowl bound. Hude JB9 to make a full recovery, get the issues on the team fixed.
Absolutely.
Lou Dog wants Jeff Fisher for Christmas.
Lou, come on now.
Let's see. I think that's good. That's it.
That's good.
We'll end on Jeff Fisher, unfortunately.
All right, let's go ahead and close it out here, guys. What do you want to close with, Tom?
You know, good healthy week. Hopefully everybody stays healthy, and we'll go down to Miami and see what goes on. You know, hopefully the defense can keep on the upswing, and we'll see what we'll see. I'm kind of thinking things may be going our way. You know, the Cowboys are now going to play on Tuesday before they have to play us Tuesday night in Baltimore, have to fly back, not get home to about 6 a.m. on Wednesday, and then fly back out Saturday to play us Sunday. So we may be looking at a home win against Dallas when Andy comes back.
Jamie?
Man, I find it so hard to cheer for the Bengals to lose. I can't do it. I watch the games and I want to win, but I'm watching Brandon go out for that last drive, and I just thought to myself, like, something's going to happen here. And then of course it did. So I think someone said it best earlier. I can't cheer for them to lose, but I'm okay that they lost.
That's where I'm at. I will never ever root for my team to lose, but the feeling of us losing the game Sunday wasn't the same. I wasn't distraught about it. I wasn't, I in my mind I didn't think Brandon Allen was going to take us down the field and win the game at the end there. But at the end of the day, there were some bright spots there. I think the defense played well, special teams played well. I can't see us winning a lot of games, if any, here, guys, with Brandon Allen and or Ryan Finley. So,
match defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yep. So real quick, guys, just to let you know, there's a very large contingent of Bengal fans heading to Miami. Travel safely. James and I will be down there. Wear your mask, do everything you're supposed to. We're staying in Fort Lauderdale, then traveling over to Miami for the game Sunday. So it'll be a lot of fun. I know we got a lot of folks wanting to hook up and have some beers together. So stay safe. The stuff is spiking right now, guys.
I don't get any final thoughts today. They just skipped right over me.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said it.
No, I didn't.
My bad, James. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. No, look forward to seeing everybody in Miami. And don't forget, you mentioned it earlier. We do that Tyler Boyd jersey over your shoulder. 25 spots. Again, 100% of the proceeds go to the Suicide Prevention Foundation. Another great charity. And stay tuned to social media and how you can be part of that. Again, limited spots, and we'll be drawing that next Tuesday night on the show.
Hey, there's a question thing. Did anyone find out who had that Fat Randy jersey? Just to let you know, that was my son sitting in the front row of that Fat Randy jersey. So I did put on it.
And we do have some more available for sale. We don't have a whole bunch left. I think we're down to large, extra large, and 2X. I don't know if you got that picture handy, Jamie, but we do have some of those left, and the proceeds from those jerseys go to another great foundation, the Anthony Munoz Foundation. Not jerseys, T-shirts.
Yeah, good stuff. Just real quick on it, there are 16 spots available at $25 each.
I have 2 written down from the chat.
Yeah, and I think we've already had 3 or 4 sold on Facebook and Twitter that we had just posted right before then. We may be at our 16. Once we hit our 16, guys, I will message everybody and I'll post those names. And then we're going to actually put that $25 on PayPal, and then we'll show the donation receipt on our social media platform. So you see that $400 goes directly to the foundation. And then next Tuesday, we will put everybody's name in the hopper, and we'll pop everybody's name on the screen and draw it live here next Tuesday night. So, guys, thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate everything. Don't forget, next Tuesday, we're drawing for the jersey behind us, and also Mike Bass, a very interesting and intriguing guest next week. We'll post more information about Mike next week prior to Tuesday, so you get an idea of what to expect. It's going to be a very interesting show next week for sure, having Mike on. That's it, guys. We appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Houday, stay safe, guys. We'll see you later.
Houday.